We here. R.I.P. Rest in peace to an influencer, a YouTuber, a TikToker, younger than myself and my co-host. He was born 1993. Kirk, Charlie Kirk, friends of Candace Owens, friends of Tucker Carlson, influence in the manosphere of Americans. Today, we going to talk about his death and conspiracies. We here at Newsroom, we don't condone all the conspiracy. We're not saying we believe these conspiracies. We are saying that it is out here. Rumors and things that make you question. And also behavior of United States government official on our rights. And the main right I'm speaking of is freedom of speech. It's a war on our freedom of speech, and Charlie Kirk stood for freedom of speech. So we got a guest tonight. He been on shows in the past dealing with Newsroom 16.1. We glad to have him on tonight. His name is Killer B, the Wishfinder General. I don't have to say a lot. When he come on, he'll explain himself, where he coming from, his channel. But I'm your host, Henry, and your co-host, Shin Nakama JML. And tonight, we getting our Wolverine and Deadpool on.
You know it.
And we have our number one fan in the house. How you doing? How you doing? Blessing, much love. And I have good news. We is at 975. 25 more people, and we will be at 1,000. So we are doing good. We is doing wonderful.
Yeah, make sure you tell them we're gonna do the 1K show. You know, once we hit that 1K, we're gonna do the show. So about the 1K subscribers. So you know what I mean?
How you been doing?
Respect to the subscribers.
How you been doing? Because it's been a while since we done the show. This our first show back.
Well, you already know how it is. It's season 2, so you know how most things do. You got to go on a little break in between season 1 and season 2. You can't be hitting folks over the head too much, especially in this day and age. You know, you got to let people miss you, because a lot of people be out here doom scrolling, and they be overcompensating, and knowing that they be watching the people they be watching too much, and then they be getting bored. So you know what I mean? Sometimes it's good for you to just drop off the face of the planet for a little bit. Yeah. And we had to let some news build up. So you know what it is. We back here. I'm proud to be back with my co-host Henry Williams. You know what I mean? Shout out to Killer B for coming on to the show. You know what I mean? And shout out to everybody I know who supports and is always looking out for me. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't say too much about that. You know, I've been going through some challenges in my own life. You know what I mean? As well as Henry, you know. But shout out to those people who held us down, even though we was going through some challenges. You know what I mean? They're just making us better and making us stronger.
Facts. So before 9/11 of this year, 9/10, this young individual lost his life to assassination. Some people said that it was staged. Some people said it was graphics. We're going to dig deep into it all and other things that dealing with our free speech. So no further ado, let's get this major guest on the stage. Killer B, the Witchfinder General. How you doing?
What's up, bro? What's going on?
Good.
All right. I ain't been on a live stream in a minute. Glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh,
Y'all can hear me all right, right?
We
Yeah,
glad to
you
have
can
you
go,
on
bro.
anytime.
All right, cool. What's up, bro?
How you doing, man?
Good.
Chilling out
Good.
here. Thank you for being on the show. Appreciate you. You know what I mean? It's always good to have people that we've been in the community with. You know what I mean? It's been over a decade now, you know what I mean? To be able to get some extra exposure, you know?
Yeah. Yup. Yeah, it's good to meet you, man. Yeah, thank you for having me on. So,
Yes. So let me get the little details out the way. Let me pop it on y'all so I don't have to say too much.
all right.
Here we go, because we got some upgrades. Look. Bam. Like, sub, hit the bell notification.
Okay.
If you wanna drop any topics you want us to discuss, hit us at ngaworldorder@gmail.com. We on TikTok at newsroom_16. If you want to support us to make sure that we paying our bills with the StreamYard, cash app us at newsroom16, money sign newsroom16. So we have people saying Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, got rid of this individual. We have other people saying that it was all staged. We gonna drop some clips and we gonna expound on it at hand. So now we gonna go into Benjamin Netanyahu describing how he feel about the situation.
Somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder. This is insane. It is false. It is outrageous. Charlie Kirk was a giant, a once-in-a-century talent who defended freedom, defended America, defended our common Judeo-Christian civilization. Charlie loved Israel. He loved the Jewish people. He told me so in a letter that he sent me just a few months ago. One of my greatest joys as a Christian, he said, is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews to protect Judeo-Christian civilization. He encouraged me to make the case directly to the American people about how vital Israel is to U.S. national security. He told me, the Holy Land is so important to my life, it pains me to see support for Israel slip away. Now, if Charlie disagreed with a policy of mine or a decision here and there, not only did I not mind, I welcomed it. This is the essence of Charlie. This is the essence of a free country. It's exactly what Charlie stood for. And I knew that his suggestions always came from the heart, from his love for Israel and from his love for the Jewish people. A few weeks before his death, I spoke to Charlie. I invited him to visit Israel again. And sadly, that won't happen. Now some are peddling these disgusting rumors, perhaps out of obsession, perhaps with Qatari funding. What I do know is this: Charlie Kirk was a great man, and a great man deserves honor, not lies. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. May your memory be a blessing.
So he's a politician. I'm gonna ask y'all, do y'all believe this politician?
Hell no. That's the first time I heard that. Yo, the first 10 seconds I saw that shit was BS. I see right through that. Number one, Charlie Kirk.
Hey, we've already had it on previous shows, Henry.
I'm gonna throw you first in line right here. You the guest. We gonna give you guest treatment. You tell us the first thing you ran into.
All right. First of all, like, you know what I'm saying? Donald Trump and the whole like thing made Charlie Kirk. I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was until he died. Like, I ain't been on YouTube or nothing like that. I don't know if y'all knew about him before, but I didn't. Like, you know what I mean? And for somebody as big as Netanyahu to speak on him, you know, the world made him, Charlie Kirk, light years bigger than what he was. You know what I'm saying? The memorials and shit, that shit was like when the goddamn president died.
Yeah.
The way the people was turning out. Like a president died. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King is something like that. Like, right? Now, you know, they say, you know, people don't really appreciate or recognize what a person was until they die. So we see that. But he said something too. He said, I invited him to come see me. Like, that nigga wasn't big. I don't think that nigga was popping like that. To have a leader of a country, the prime minister of a country, have and want to speak to him and bless you, God bless you. Since when the Jewish God and shit bless idolaters? You know what I mean? He playing the game. And what Christians do, see, Christians can like Jews. You know what I'm saying? Christ is a Jew. You know what I'm saying? So they Christians look at it different. Them niggas, they don't look at it like that. You look like you looking at it from the bottom up. So you got Christianity. I mean, you got Judaism, you got Christianity, then you got Islam, right? With the Abrahamic religions, right? The Jews don't like the Christians or the damn Muslims. According to their religion, you know what I mean? They not followers of God. Now the Christians, the next tier, they look at the Muslims. They not followers of God. Know what I'm saying? But the Jews is the trickiest motherfuckers out there. So they playing the game. They're the smallest group. So they better play the game. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna pop nothing off unless they got back, aka the United States of America.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't have been doing what they was doing without the United States of America backing them and other European nations and stuff like that. If they was over there by themselves, no, they be shook because they surrounded by their so-called enemies. Yeah, so I don't believe none of that shit he was saying.
So
I don't believe none of it.
Following certain people like Candace Owens, Tucker, and Turning Point US, I ran into certain videos with Charlie Kirk, and the main thing I seen from him was his debates, going to colleges and debating college students about the legitimacy of Israel war with Gaza. You have Christians, like you were saying earlier, Christians believe that, hey, we Judo-Christian, we can support Israel, we Christians, but we don't deal with Muslims. You got Muslims like, hey, we could deal with Christians and Jews, but don't disrespect our culture or we gonna handle up. And you have the Jews, their whole religion, we don't deal with Christians and we don't deal with Muslims, but we can manipulate America because of their faith.
Right. Now, look, one second. I forgot to add this.
Yeah.
Now, he talking about the so-called myth that they had something to do with it, right?
Yeah.
There's all types of myths and stuff talking about everybody. Donald Trump, the Jews or whatever, right? People in his stature, they don't even address that. So what made him even bring that up? What made him even entertain that? What made him entertain that? Did some CIA agent from the United States come out and say, yeah, the Jews might have had an involvement with Charlie Kirk's assassination? Did anything like that come out?
Yeah, because hold on. Let me speak the piece because I got the answer for that because I seen something about that. They were saying the original two people who they picked up as the suspects for the shooting was Israeli antagonists who was known for going into other countries and causing destabilization type events like this to destabilize the governments. And they initially was the suspects, but they was let go. And now then they arrested that dude Ryan Robinson for the shooting because that's the patsy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We know because if you know anybody who knows anything about how they be moving the CIA, they always got a patsy, meaning that's the fall guy. The one who they got up here, the one who they got jammed up for the assassination is not the real assassin. That's the one who and a lot of people don't realize the dude's father is a cop. He's in the Freemasonry and all that. So it's like another George Floyd type situation where the father most likely and the son made the deal that they was going to be the fall. And that's why the father called the cops on him. Remember, whose parents is calling the cops on them after they do some type of assassination? We have to realize these type of things, right? Especially non-melanated folks. You know what I'm saying? Because we see how they be having people in their family who's all the way messed up. They don't be disowning them, turning them in, or none of that. I never heard about none of that from no non-melanated community. And I've been around them type of people my whole life. You know what I'm saying? It has to be where it was a payday involved. People in order to cover it up, it's political. So that, just like you said, Benjamin Netanyahu's out here pulling out false tales. He's out here doing the role, playing the role real good. Just like he did, remember, Henry, on the other show we had where we caught it, we jammed him up on the Palestine, John, saying one thing, and then we got him on a whole different video clip saying the exact opposite thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we're not falling for these type of methodologies that they're using, these psychological operations. But a lot of the people are, because notice, at 2 weeks, Netanyahu said 2 weeks before, after that assassination, that if he wouldn't have got assassinated, he was supposed to go to Israel and meet directly with Netanyahu. Now, here we are, 4 weeks later, and now they got a peace agreement.
Yeah.
It seemed like, and like I've been telling a lot of folks who wasn't paying attention, Charlie Kirk at the end, in his last 2 weeks of his life, he started to become anti-Zionist because he was against them killing the children and like Henry been saying, the stifling the freedom of speech, killing reporters, destroying whole operations at Al Jazeera that was in Gaza. And them, and then not only that, them blacklisting us, blackballing us, them shadow banning us on these public platforms because we're speaking the truth and we're speaking out and we're telling people about these psychological operations that the government is doing in order to destabilize not only the United States, but to destabilize world politics and the individuals of the people who are motivated to see a change and seek a change from the governing bodies, and those people who are the corrupt officials, they want to stay in power because they know once they lose the power, we can put them on trial. All this stuff is recorded. All of this stuff is in black op files, classified files, that if through the Freedom of Information Act ever got out, that they would have to try these people. Just like me and Henry been saying the last 5 shows, you know what I mean? Where's the Epstein list at? The Epstein list ain't out because all these major players is on it, including the president himself.
True.
Yes.
I know that. He don't even want to tap into that. He like, shit, man. The fuck y'all want to look at that?
He trying to tell us there's no Epstein list now.
Yeah.
We have Kirk. He freedom of speech. He say you can't use morals in a logic debate. You cannot morally guilt trip people, and we're gonna go into a video clip of someone who is an organizer of these events with Turning Point USA. Let me play it for you.
And then people are taking things out of context, because there was in the article, the hit piece that came out, it talks about how Charlie raised up his phone and had written on Twitter, and he said something like, BB needs to resign or something like that. And he goes, what would happen if I do this? There was discourse, and then there was one woman who sat in the back who said, if you do that, you're indirectly going to empower Hamas. And then Charlie was like, see, you have to stop saying like that. He was saying that when you are debating about Israel, you need to stop doing it emotionally. You need to do it logically and factually. Otherwise, you lose the debate. He said it is moral blackmail if you say that somebody saying that a politician is bad, that you're then empowering a terrorist organization. Fair argument.
Fair argument.
See, that's what they don't want us to be out here shredding them. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do, Killer B, up in the community. They're mad because we're cutting them with their own swords.
Yeah. Yup. They're hating the truth. Like you
and
said.
They're bleeding all over us, right? You know what I mean? And they're bleeding all over us, trying to convince us it's water, not blood.
Yup. They're like the old infomercial said, when you learn to do this? I learned it from you. I learned it from watching you. Don't do drugs commercials back in the 80s.
Hey, you already know this is your brain.
Let me put some history and some facts to everybody who watching. Every president say Israel is our #1 ally. Great Britain supposed to be our #1 ally too, one of our best allies, but they attacked us.
Yeah,
Great Britain attacked us back in the day. Israel attacked us in modern history. The USS Liberty was attacked by Israel. You have Israeli citizens coming to America, getting caught in child pornography ring and running back to Israel, getting blank slates. We have politicians banning people from this country because they want to voice their opinion about genocide. We hear peace plan this, but we want the world to know that the greatest genocide of our lifetime is occurring in the Gaza Strip, in the West Bank. And Charlie Kirk, he was getting in the sphere where they want us divided. They want men and women to be divided with family, so we won't have structure. Charlie wanted to uplift men. He wanted the nucleus, the family nucleus, back together.
Yeah, right.
You can't have that if you're trying to control the American people. You need to divide and conquer to control the American people.
Right.
People
And don't
say,
forget, hold on, and don't forget this part too, because I want to say this because a lot of black people been out here acting like he was racist and XYZ. And if you actually go watch his clip about that, he was, I forgot what university he was at, but he was at a university, and one of the non-melanated folks from the audience asked him about what was his feeling about reparation and restitution for the black community. And he said he was for it because he's like, yo, how can you downplay these people when for the last 100 years your family been able to build up wealth based on generation and generation and generation of enabling you to be able to build up the wealth. And then right. You got to go back 400 years since the beginning where these people been stifled in our own lands, not from Africa. Let's stop that BS too. Not from Africa. We've been stifled in our own lands, the United States of America. You know what I mean? That we can't come up, and they've been preventing us. Even when we had the generational wealth to pass it on, they destroyed those generations in order for our current generation to be where it's at. Watch the examples. The movie Paid in Full, the movie Don't Be a Menace to Society, the show Snowfall. All you got to do is look at all these shows that they bring out, and then look at the propaganda that they're proposing in the modern era of how they're trying to destroy the black community. And on top of that, now all of a sudden the Christians, since they didn't, before they had the peace agreement, all of a sudden non-melanated Christians is coming to us in the black community telling us that we got to help them stop Gaza from being destroyed. Because why? Because like one of these brothers that I just heard talking the other week said, it's because black people, y'all ain't scared of them. You'll say whatever you got to say. You've been doing it already this whole time, speaking up for yourself and defending yourself with nobody having your back. So we know that they're afraid of you. That's why they've been trying to destroy us. Because if you go back in time by the decade, from 2000 back, every decade, the most powerful voices was black voices of those times. The 80s, the 90s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 40s. Every time you go back a decade, the black voices was more powerful. Every time you come up these decades, the more they destroyed us, and that has to do with them stifling the freedom of speech. They want to stop us from being able to speak our minds because black people is the only ones in the whole country who knows what's up. We told the Hispanic people not to trust these folks who's in power because they gonna turn on you like they turned on us. What happened? Now they got ICE all up in the neighborhoods trying to get these people thrown up out of here. Now, and now what's happening is now that they don't have us as the victims no more, now they're turning on their own people who's speaking up and turning them into the victims. And now they're starting to realize too, damn, everything these black folks been saying for the last 50 to 100 years is facts.
So let me say this real quick. This for Christianity. If you have someone saying Christians, your religion make you Adolf Hitler. Christians, someone said that your religion make you crazy. Mm-hmm. Someone said that they will use weapons against you. The digital age, they're going to get influencers. They will use non-government organizations to go to war with you. Y'all want to know who that person is? The same person that I showed earlier, Benjamin Netanyahu. Let's hear his words in our face. He telling us, but some people going to skip things. So let me put it in your face.
So something I would like to raise, which was actually my first published paper, was how you and the Likud party are cut from the same ideological cloth as Trump and the GOP in America. And so specifically with Charlie Kirk's assassination, who was a big mentor of mine, he's my first mentor in the space, evangelicals, from all my research, evangelicals are the reason that Israel has been supported in public sphere outside of just Jews. So with Charlie's assassination and with the kind of trajectory that we see with like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, I guess I'm curious about what's another game plan if we lose evangelical support for the state of Israel. What's our backup plan to be strong, like outside of the diaspora?
Christian influencers. Okay. You said we talked about the woke right, and you said I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, you know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're loonies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time.
Wait. Did he just say we got to use the black people? Did I hear that right?
You got to use the weapon.
Wait, before that, didn't he say the black people? Or I'm bugging.
Yeah, he's not. Who do you think he's talking about is the weapon?
Now, but the Jewish people been influencing the black community, and look at us.
We just brought that. I just said that. I just brought that out.
They put all the money in the hip hop. Look at us now. And
not only that. Not only that. Remember, they wasn't in the moving the drugs too.
Well, tell me what hip hop group. Tell me what early hip hop group that wasn't involved with a black nationalist organization that hated Jews. Eric B. Rakim, 5% Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
African being body, same shit. Fucking KRS-One, same shit. You go all the way down the line. 5% and all that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and they put that stuff out, just like MC Search and Pete Nice. Pete Nice was going to be a rabbi before he became a rapper.
Yeah.
And MC Search put out about probably 70-80% of the top hip-hop artists that we know of today. They wouldn't have been where they at if it wasn't for MC Search. Nas, Tricord, all of them. They wouldn't be nothing without MC Search.
You have Benjamin Netanyahu saying that the Christians is the third right, the woke right. He said that he got to go to war. A foreign leader saying that he going to war with American citizens. He going to use influencers like CIA, paid people using money
They've been
to
doing
influence us.
They've been doing it.
They want to buy TikTok. It's a reason why Donald Trump wants to take TikTok from the Chinese, so the Chinese wouldn't allow Americans and Gazans to show videos of the genocide.
Now, what I think Trump, this is something that I think of myself. I'm not saying he doing this. This is just me. I be brainstorming on the shit. Like, right? I think on some real shit, Donald Trump don't like neither of them motherfuckers. And he see the motherfuckers bullshit, right? say now he talking about developing the Gaza Strip and all that shit, making that shit into the gazillion dollar fucking shit property. Now they said, okay, the Jews not gonna take control of this shit, right? So now, if the Jews decide to get fucking, you know what I'm saying, all uppity or something and get out of line, Donald Trump will cut everything off. Just like he did with that Ukraine nigga when he showed up at the White House wearing a jumpsuit. He's like, man, he clowned that nigga like, yo, get your ass up out of here, man. Like, know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not only that, I agree with you on that because it's a fact. Because think about it. Remember, Henry, we did that other show when because think about it. Israel bombed Tehran and Iran, and Donald Trump wasn't really with that at first. He wasn't with them attacking Iran because we was about to have a deal done with them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We was about to make a deal for them to produce our missiles because Iran makes the cheapest and most effective missiles right now on the planet. And Netanyahu didn't like that because there's a stipulation in the contracts of the treaty with the United States, the allegiance, that whoever the United States is in legitimate business contracts with, Israel cannot attack them.
Like they attacked that country the other day.
Qatar. And,
yeah. And so
and it's because they're trying to stop.
Wait, hold up. What you said? Kill it.
What you said?
What you was saying?
Yeah, so they do that shit. You know, Donald Trump not a politician. You see how they tried to do him. They said, oh, he doing this. They're trying to lock that nigga up. So when he won the presidency, guess what he did? He said, I'm telling everybody about everything y'all niggas is doing.
Yes.
Everything what y'all niggas is doing. All the money y'all getting, stopping all that shit. Because y'all planting all these little companies and shit, getting all this money and all that shit, all this shit about money. And just like why he's sending the National Guard to Chicago. They don't want the National Guard there. Why? Because he's going to get rid of the crime. When you get rid of the crime, that's less government money that has to go to that city. Right. So now, the mayor's
and like I said before, if they got to send the National Guard, they need to fire all them police.
Yeah. And that's what they should have. Hey, if y'all not doing the job, we don't need you. Cut the funding. Have like 15 cops in the motherfucking city. And send the National Guard in there, giving them a raise. So if he's a businessman, he's not a politician. So he working from the business end, he worked for himself. Just like I had a mayor out here when I used to live in Connecticut, right? He went to federal prison. Why? He was a mayor. He made the city the best it's been. And say like you need new sidewalks and shit, right? He made sure his boy that got the construction company to make the sidewalks get the fucking deal, get the bid and shit, and say that shit $5 million, right? They give this nigga a check for $5 million. But guess what? $300,000 out of that $5 million getting kicked back to motherfucking the mayor. So all that funding that come in, that shit go and feed motherfuckers before the shit get put to use. So they doing this shit overseas now. So he waiting for these niggas, the Israel, to fuck up, to do some out-of-pocket shit. Like, yeah, go ahead and do that. Uh-huh. Yeah, you shouldn't have did that shit. Right? And then it's going to come to the point where you fucking up the process. And now they might act froggy, and he'll send some niggas over there to bomb fucking Israel and just take their whole shit.
But
like, look, we gave you this, like with that canal. Remember he gave
let me add one
dimension to this. Go ahead.
So we had a president, William Clinton, aka Bill Clinton. They was threatening him, exposing Monica Lewinsky and their conversation. They blackmailed him till he was trying to do a deal with the Palestinians. Do you think Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, have any blackmail against Donald Trump?
Can you rephrase that? Like for me?
Do you think Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel have blackmail information against Donald Trump like the Epstein file? Like Epstein, we already know.
Now check this out.
Okay.
Epstein was Jewish, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yes. Now, if you know anything about the Jewish film industry, bro, if you watch some Israeli films, know what are the main things that are in those films? Just like say like black films, right? What's guaranteed what's in the black films? Some hood shit, right? Some drugs, some guns, and all this shit. Israeli films, one of the main things in that shit is pedophilia.
Facts.
Yep, Henry
if it's
been
not one of the
exposing
main
that for a minute
topics in
out
the
here.
movie, it's one of the second or third main subject things in those films. I've been watching this shit on Roku and shit, right? You know, like Tubi and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, this is Israeli film and shit. And we watch it. I'm like, yo, what the fuck going on up in this motherfucker? Like, I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. And then another Israeli, you know how the shit, it keep recommending you other shit. I'm like, all these goddamn films is based off of some shit like that. And even if that's not the subject, it could be some crime shit or something. They'll slide that shit up in that motherfucker. So I'm wondering myself, is that part of their culture?
And
not
I
saying
tell
like,
you this,
like historical culture, but
I tell
you know
you
what I mean?
this.
Like they say, like about a lot of Hispanic people, a lot of that shit go down. And a lot of Hispanic
I can tell you this. I honestly tell you this. Yes, the answer is yes. When a female start menstruating, that's when the female is able to get, I'm gonna use the word pluck. They control the porn industry. They control the Hollywood industry. They control the money, finance. Yeah. Google got offices in Israel.
Yep.
Apple got offices in Israel. If you say anything about Zionists, they say anti-Semitism and they try to ban you. We see that happen with Kanye West. Yeah, Kanye West got some questionable actions, but a lot of things that you dig deep, you're like, wait a minute, he trying to slide something in the table. He's trying to make himself seem crazy, but actually throwing some things that make you go look up things.
Right.
And it's scary, but true that Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, top advisor with cyber, dealing with the internet, came to America in Las Vegas to have a function to talk about cyber crime, dealing with it all. But Las Vegas police was doing an undercover thing, acting like a child online. This top advisor, top official, got caught going online, looking up child to meet up with. What happened? The person got locked up, and he got locked up also with a Christian preacher evangelist. They kept the evangelist in jail, but they freed the Israeli citizen, found out that the prosecutor of Las Vegas was born in Israel, have a dual citizenship of America and Israel, let him go. He flew back to Israel and never coming back. You have many stories you can find on YouTube of Israelis, Zionist Jews who would leave United States because they had committed a crime of pedophilia in the church, no, in the synagogue, and ran and never showed back. And if an American citizen or an Australian citizen get caught doing some cyber stuff in their country, Australia would automatically trying to send them to America to get tried. Israel don't do that. They protect these people.
It's like they can't do no wrong.
Yes.
Oh no, they're good people. They're good people.
So let's get a clip of what happened of the scene. Faces is blurred. If you a teenager or you somebody who got a weak stomach, for this just a little warning that some of it gonna be graphic.
And in that video, you can see the same, what appears to be the bullet coming down, and it does line up with the actual gunshot itself. So you're not counting gang violence. Great.
So this video was created by a friend of mine who is a Marine. You'll see him here at the end. This is the angle he is showing the shot coming from, showing where Charlie was sitting, and the angle of the shot, which will correspond with this video here, which unfortunately we will blur out Charlie's face, but we will show what is necessary to prove that this was an entry and exit wound. So you'll see him circle the highlighted area right there, and you'll see the exit wound corresponding after, a split second after, as it would from an entry and exit wound. So in this footage, you can clearly see that Charlie is shot from his back right, and there's blood splatter coming out of the entry wound.
Wow.
See, let me get into this, bro.
You know we're not getting no sound, right?
Yeah, I didn't add sound. I didn't want copyright. I just wanted
Oh,
to
okay, I got
play.
you.
So I wanted to show that video.
So you saw the end of that.
Yes.
You saw the end of that video, right?
Where that watermelon went boom.
Yeah, and there's no way that you got shot with a 5.62 millimeter shell from a high-powered rifle that could kill a deer, which I've been talking to some of my friends who live in the Midwest, the North Midwest, though, not the like Michigan, Minnesota, and stuff like that. And they've been saying that it's no way you get shot with that Mauser rifle and your head don't explode. There's no way. That's meant to take down deer, moose, big game. that rifle.
When that bullet enters you, it expands everything. Like the pressure and the shit, it blows everything out. Like you don't even have to hit certain organs, just be near it, and that shit's gonna destroy that shit.
You know,
right? And my
I'm
friend,
scared
he's a
of?
firearm expert. He's a firearm expert because he works at the shooting range. He's been shooting guns for like 20, 30 years. And he told me, and we was talking about it, brainstorming, and the way he got hit and the way the exit wound looked, it looked like he got hit with a 9mm Glock with a silencer.
I'm gonna say this.
So
right
that means
here.
it was up close and personal when whoever shot him. It wasn't from range.
And they said it was a dude that was given like a diversion when it happened. You heard about that?
And
not only that, he was shooting something.
Not only that, I seen a video where they were saying the shooter shot the handgun and his accomplice was standing in front of him with a backpack. So as soon as he took the shot, he dropped the gun in the backpack, zipped the backpack up so he could leave a different way with the weapon. And then the shooter went a whole totally different way. Which it would make more sense than they're saying that this young kid who got no type of firearm experience took apart a rifle, put it in his backpack, climbed up on the roof without nobody seeing him, reassembled the rifle, took the shot, disassembled the rifle, put it back in the bag, jumped down, reassembled the rifle, and left it there.
They said he jumped out the building with the rifle in his hand. He didn't throw the bag. He still had the bag in his hand.
Yeah, but it's crazy because the screwdriver was on the roof. Though.
Go up or down, nothing with no firearm in your hand.
And the screwdriver, they said that when they was doing the investigation, they found the screwdriver on the roof that he used to disassemble and reassemble the rifle, bro. You're telling me that he had enough time to use a screwdriver to assemble the rifle and take the shot before the people seen him, when we know from the videos that it was special forces all around Charlie Kirk. That's why they was doing the baseball signals and all that.
And I'm gonna tell you why Charlie Kirk main area was colleges, why he went to college. American citizens and also foreign citizens would come to American colleges, and they don't have all of American viewpoint. They believe in freedom of speech. They believe freedom of assembly. But they don't believe that America should freely give Israel weapons to commit one of the horrible genocide of our lifetime. Charlie Kirk started to question that. And it's scary because you have the vice president carrying Charlie Kirk casket like he was an American real hero. And we already done a show that our vice president went to the Vatican. The Pope wound up sick and passed away. And then after that, we got an American Pope. Let me show this video.
It's looking, hey, remember what I said earlier, right? The first two suspects in assassination was known Israeli antagonists, known for destabilizing countries. These are, and you know that, and we know what that means on the low. That means they was working for the IDF. Let's not cut it short. Let's really say what it was. They was really working for the IDF. When they got jammed up by the authorities, they pulled their card. They pulled their secret agent card out. And they said, you got to let us go or you're going to be next. And guess what? They let them go and they got a new suspect.
And what I was saying earlier, if y'all don't believe me, listen to Marco Rubio.
Under President Trump, the United States will stand with the Jewish people. We have implemented a vigorous new visa policy that will prevent foreign nationals from coming to the United States to foment hatred against our Jewish community. We are holding international organizations and nations accountable for rhetoric against Israel that resurfaces in the manifesto of monsters like Iran and Sarah's killer. But we do see an eventual light at the end of this long tunnel of suffering. One can imagine a Middle East in which the Abraham Accords eventually reign. And I'll say it again, I said it everywhere. Let me be abundantly clear, okay? If you go apply for a visa right now, anywhere in the world, let me just send this message out. If you apply for a visa to enter the United States and be a student, and you tell us that the reason why you're coming to the United States is not just because you want to write op-eds, but because you want to participate in movements that are involved in doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus, we're not going to give you a visa. If you lie to us and get a visa and then enter the United States and with that visa participate in that sort of activity, we're going to take away your visa. And once you've lost your visa, you're no longer legally in the United States, and we have a right, like every country in the world has a right, to remove you from our country. So it's just that simple.
They remove foreign people who go to college to get an education, and then they say, hey, we want to use the American right to voice our opinion. Not just you destroying college campuses. No, you voicing your opinion about America giving weapons to Israel. I never saw any president come and say the African American community like they saying about Israel, a foreign nation. Oh, if you come, I don't even hear about the Caucasian Christian.
But you know, like groups like the FBI and shit, they'll do shit that sounds weird or fucked up to the public, but it has, like you said, like, all right, so people get mad now, like, why these Jewish people getting the pass and shit, like, or whatever, right? Now, the FBI will allow that to see who's going to get pissed about it and say, man, we got to do something about these Jewish people and shit. And they sit there and watch them. Now they know who is the people that's really want to act like they did with the Black Panthers, like the COINTELPRO shit, right? That shit wasn't fucked up. That shit was how they protect the country. So you go in, like, now some weird fucked up shit went on, but say you join that organization and you become, like, we were looking at something earlier, like the dude became like the top. No, that was something else, I think. Like, but the dude will become one of the best members in the group. He be like, yeah, man, I can't wait till we get these crackers and shit. And now he's gonna see who else in the group gonna say, yeah, man, you right. These crackers gotta go, right? And then another motherfucker, like, and they keep talking about it. Like, in the beginning, nobody was talking like that. It wasn't until the informant came into the organization and made these strong suggestions that was outside of the belief system of the group. Know what I'm saying? But why they do that is to see the extreme people that are going to rise. Same thing with the Hebrew Israelites. Like the group, like the Hebrew Israelites, this bad FBI, like, I know there was an agent in IUIC and shit. I saw the motherfucker. I caught the nigga. He was snooping around the building. He was watching us every motherfucking Saturday, like halfway across the other side of the city. and all of a sudden you snooping around the building where the school at. And then I snuck up on him, scared the shit out of him. He was like, yeah. I was like, you be watching this over there on the Sabbath and stuff. He said, yeah, I have a friend in this building. Nigga, man, you do anything to anybody you want in New York City. They ain't gonna see you again. You know how many people in fucking New York City? You get robbed or something, the cops ain't gonna do shit because you ain't gonna never see that nigga again.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's just
do those things to see who are the extreme. But the dude ended up joining the group, and he became very, very fast. He rose in the ranks, just like one of those COINTELPRO people. They say they don't do it no more. They might have some other type of technique that they're using now, but they'll do that to drive out all the extremists. Because one nigga might pop up and say, shit, I know where to get some guns. We could do this shit to these rackets. You know what I mean? And then another motherfucker might say, yeah, right? And they just keeping tabs on the nigga. And down they'll let the nigga get the guns. Or the informant might say, I know where I can get some guns or some bombs or some shit. And they be like, yeah, man, let me get that shit. Man, I'm about to do something to these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Then it goes down. Now they know who to look out for. And they might not even touch the nigga. They might watch him for 20 years and watch him develop. And who else joins him?
And that's the truth, because after 9/11, they had got a lot of people for extremist act, but judges wind up dropping people charges because finding out that a lot of the stuff was instigated by informants.
Tahar, GMS. That's what happened to GMS. When the 2000 prophecy came, when they talking about Black Jesus gonna fall out the sky and shit, when the 9/11 happened, they were celebrating and they was arrested on some terrorist charges right in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And they got a Jewish lawyer, ironically, and the charges was dropped. But they had to leave the city. But they were called the House of David, and when they moved back to New York, that's where GMS came from. When they moved back to New York, they changed the name to GMS. That's the truth. So,
and you know what's funny about it too? You know what I find the funniest about that? Because I was in them Hebrew Israelite groups for a little bit too. You know what I mean? I still claim to be Hebrew Israelite, but I'm one of them people that they be trying to come against because the individual lights, because I don't believe what they're perpetrating to be. You know what I mean? They're not keeping it up. They're not keeping it 100. And I knew that because I used to be in the debate leagues and the debate groups with all them and all that. But they never wanted to go against my main thing was, we need to bring it to the necks of these converts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they kept trying to be on some, we got to debate each other type stuff. And I'm like, why aren't we going to these synagogues? Why ain't we going out here and declaring on the people who supposedly stole our heritage and is perpetrating a fraud according to the scriptures, not just based off what we're observing, but according to the scriptures. But y'all is too scared to, or maybe it's a Hegelian dialect. They got y'all like Killer B just said. Right, they got the Hegelian dialect going. That problem, reaction, solution. So they got this they got the other side locked up, like Netanyahu said. They got the left and the right locked up. So not only do they got the converts in their pocket because they're the converts, but they got the people who are the actual people in their pocket too. That's why they won't play the role of coming against them, even though all of the documented history, all of the religious documents, the holy text, speak what we're saying right now on this show is an absolute fact. These people is perpetrating frauds. They're over here trying to take over the world. just like Hitler said in his speech, and like Henry just brought out, using the pornography, using the various methods of media control, trying to stifle our freedom of speech. And let alone, and the thing that a lot of people's not talking about is they also tried to take away the gun rights by doing this assassination.
Well,
saying, oh, we got to control the weaponry. We got to take away the weaponry.
One more video is silence in some parts, and they're going to play some words in the next.
Rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder. That somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder.
That's insane. I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. You can't believe that people are saying that they just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this, but I don't think people will give into these ridiculous lies.
I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
So I wanted to play that because things that we was talking about is right there in that video in the summary. Charlie Kirk was saying, hey, we want to see the Epstein file. We already know that Epstein was a Jew. I already know that Israel was blackmailing Bill Clinton. He want to know the file if Israel is blackmailing other politicians or also Donald Trump. We wanted to know. He wound up passing away September 10th, and September 11th, Republicans deny the viewing of the Epstein file. Why? That's just questions. It's not conspiracy to ask questions. It's not a conspiracy to look up the answer, because a question, the first word in question is quest. You go on a journey to find the answer. We here at Newsroom 16.1 is telling you, you don't have to believe us. All we are here is to make you think and seek out what you feel is going on. A lot of things we touch on, we know to be true, but you might haven't experienced that truth. You might have to go on that quest on your own to find that answer. We're not here to dictate to you. We are not no fanatics forcing things down your face. And we are not anti-Semitic. We are not Hitler. We are not trying to commit another Holocaust. We are saying we are Americans, just like the opening I showed the American flag. We are Americans, and our duty as Americans is to love our Constitution, and that is the freedom to assemble, as we doing now, and we have the freedom to voice our opinion, even how absurd it might be. Don't take my rights and liberty away. Because newsroom, the news means never end the work in service. And that's our job. We are here to serve the people by doing this work. We're going to hand you this work. If you want to do the homework, it's up to you. We not forcing you to do it, but we going to put it out. Yeah, I want to thank you again, Killer B, the Witch Finder General. So before we go off or anything, we're gonna let everybody have final word. But Killer B, tell us about your YouTube channel, where we can find you if you dropping something soon or anything.
Yeah, man. I just recently moved to another state, and so I'm trying to make my little podcast room and stuff as we speak. I'm trying to work on that. In the near future, I'll be back in full swing and stuff. You guys can check out my videos on my channel. Now, I haven't made any videos in some time and stuff on there, but there's plenty of the headbangers on there. So y'all can go talking on subjects just like this, other subjects. I'm an ex-Hebrew Israelite cult member, so I educate people on the dangers of the cult and expose all the cult leaders for all their fuckery and all types of stuff. You can go check me at my channel. The thing's kind of blocking it now, but it's Killer B. Killer is spelled Killah right there, how you see it on the screen there. Killer B, the Witch Finder General. You type that in YouTube, you see me pop up. Got plenty of good videos on there. Got about 950 videos, so there's plenty of content up on there. So one last thing, and so I wanted to say to, and I thank you too for having me on tonight. I definitely love to be back on here again. Just let me know. Israel has a similar problem that we have in this country that a lot of people have forgot about, and that I have talked on my channel. One of the topics before all this stuff happened in Israel was about the Black Israelites in Dimona, and how the Israeli government wanted to kick them out of Israel for not being citizens. Now, anybody know how they got there from a man called Benny Amin that came from, he was from Chicago or something like that. And how they got, first they went to not Nigeria. What's the United States, the country United States set up?
Liberia,
right? They stole, robbed, and scammed their way to get money to fund their people to get out of the United States. The FBI and stuff have raided these groups before they left, right? And recently, one of their members, besides Benny Amin, had died a few years ago. And the mayor of Chicago actually went to this nigga's funeral, where this man was actually once charged with espionage. If I remember, if that word is the correct word for it. He was in cahoots with a country leader in Africa. I forgot what country it was, that had sanctions against the United States. Had sanctions against that country.
Are you talking about Charles Taylor?
Are
you talking about Charles Taylor?
No, the guy, he just died. Prince Abiel, and there was another guy. There was an African
Charles
leader.
Taylor, I think, was the president of Liberia, wasn't he?
Might have been, but it wasn't Liberia that they was country they was working with. They first went to Liberia. They started a damn ice cream shop or something like that, and then they had to get the heck up out of Liberia, and they started working their way across Africa. One of those countries in Africa, the leader gave them like $200,000-$300,000 to go back to America and speak to politicians like the mayors, the governors, and stuff to try to lift the sanctions off of their country, because they was doing all types of stuff like with the kids, and they had all types of grimy stuff going on. And these people was in cahoots with that. And Prince Abiel pleaded guilty. They let him go on a light charge, and the other guy actually spent time. in prison for it. Now he's the enemy of the United States. Why would this woman, this mayor of Chicago, that lady, right? She was the mayor, that lady. I forgot her name. She went to this nigga funeral. But now they went into Israel with they had a thing in Israel where anybody that adhered to the Jewish faith could come there and live there. It was I forgot what they called the little movement that they had. They were letting people move there. So in Dimona, they had Dimona, they had their little commune there. And I'm trying to speed it up for y'all. I know y'all gotta go. But the thing is, these people moved there, threw away their passports and IDs, but was still collecting Social Security, food stamps, all the benefits from the United States, pensions, right? And selling the food stamps, had somebody in America selling the food stamps and sending the money to them. Some of the people was dying, and they wasn't reporting the death of the person. Like if somebody collecting Social Security out here and they die, niggas gonna know he dead. Whether you like it or not, because ain't nobody holding no dead body up in their house.
We did a show on that.
That's what Dodge was doing. Elon Musk, he went in there to try to clean that out.
Yeah, so right, exactly, right. You're right. So they'll collect all this money. Now, these people had children. They're in this country with no identification. This time you have immigrants here with no identifications. The United States government are letting them get driver's license, CDL license, letting them get Social Security numbers, letting them get driver's all types of benefits, food stamps, all types of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now, in Israel, they're like, yo, y'all gotta go. Y'all don't even have no documentation. So there's nowhere to even deport these niggas. Because there's no documentation, knowing where they came from. Like, they know where they came from, but there's no documentation. So they gathered up how many there was, and these people had a deadline to leave the country. And then they extended the deadline, and that's when, just before when the thing was about the hammer was about to drop, that's when that thing happened in Israel with Hamas and all that stuff. So I guess they put that on the back burner.
All I can say is this. If Christians, evangelists stop supporting Israel, Israel won't have no friends no more. Because a lot of countries is getting tired of the Zionist BS.
Yep.
They're getting tired. Even Donald Trump told Benjamin Netanyahu, like, you can't go against the world.
Yeah. Israel is trying to use the United States. They're just using them. But Donald Trump is like, yeah, nigga, I know what you're doing. Go ahead, keep it up. Keep it up.
Yeah, you got to think about what Netanyahu said in that video clip. He said he's trying to bring out the weapons. So we already know that their whole weaponry, their arsenal is the United States. Whether it's trying to use the black people through the music and the entertainment as promoters of these corrupt lifestyles, whether it's the United States bombs, dropping them on Gaza, it doesn't matter. And they're trying to force our hand too as a people, because we're the only ones who can really stop them in the effects, because without us, they have no effect.
Yeah. It sounds cruel, but I always said, I don't know why the United States just bomb all of them, both sides, and just take the country, take that whole area. But I think that's what Donald Trump got planned.
Hey, you know what's funny?
We doing this, and we not getting nothing back out of it.
The thing about it, it's ironic that you say that, because That's what Winston Churchill said at the end of World War II to Roosevelt, that they needed to start in the Middle East and work their way all the way up to Russia and take everybody out while they had the forces over there.
Yeah.
But and you seen what they did to Winston Churchill. They forced him into obscurity and into shame, and he died with none of his accolades that he deserved for what he did in World War II.
Yeah.
So let me get ready to close this show out. I want to thank everybody for coming and watch the show, and who will watch the show later on. We only need 25 more people, and we will be at the 1K mark. If you got some friends, you got some family, get them to sub. They don't have to watch. By you helping us to reach 1K, that will make the algorithm suggest our videos to other people. We already reached people in Canada and other countries, several other countries. With your help, we'll reach more people who haven't seen 1 hour video. I want to thank everyone who came and supported us tonight in the comment section. I want to thank you again, Killer B. Everybody check out his YouTube channel, Killer B, the Witch Finder General. And I want to thank nobody else. My greatest supporter, my co-host, Shin Akuma JML. We Deadpool and Wolverine in the house. So, Shin, you got something to say before we close out?
Oh, you already know, big dog. Positive vibes brings positive results. Positive results means you're accomplishing your goals. Just because you're going through a negative circumstance doesn't mean you can't have a positive outcome. Holla at me, please.
So Killer B, you got something? I know I'm gonna ask you again. You got something last to say?
Yeah, you know, shit. I'm Killer B, the Witch Finder General. You got a witch? I'll burn their ass up. That's it.
Okay, stay in the back. Stay in the back till the show end. We got an outro, and everybody have a good night.
Yep, you too, man. Thank you.